Got a spoon one day and just drew on the spoon. So we liked it and stuck it up on the wall. And then she did a couple more spoons, and then some of the other kids that worked here started drawing on spoons, and we kept sticking them up on the wall. Customers saw it and thought that looked like fun, so they wanted to know if they could do it. And before you knew it, we've got over 9,000 spoons. And each one is unique. It's a piece of art. We have people of all ages do them, from little kids to people in their 80s. So it's something that, you know, a family can just come in and sit down together, or a group of kids, a group of friends, and just have some fun and get creative. And it's lots of laughs, lots of fun, good time.
Although ice cream may not immediately come to mind as one of Maryland's traditional foods, the first recorded use of the term ice cream in the New World was at the governor's mansion in the colony of Maryland in 1744. Mrs. Gier explains her goals for the shop and how it fits into Annapolis's food scene.
Our goal was just to produce the best product we possibly could at the best price and have fun, and allow our customers to come in and sit down and enjoy themselves and really go away with a fun experience. Maryland in general, of course, is known as you know, the blue crab feast state, so we're known for that. But it's really a wide variety of foods. If you walk around downtown Annapolis, I mean, there's everything to choose from. You've got Italian, you've got French, you've got, you know, something that's casual, you've got something that's dressier, so you can go the full gamut. And we feel like our place in there is really not just in between everything, but it complements everything. Because we have a lot of people who come after having sushi across the street from us, to having you know, filet mignon down the street or up the street from us, and they have this wonderful dinner, and then they come in and just have their dessert here, because there's nothing more fun than ice cream, no matter how fancy or how basic your meal has been.
The ice cream from this shop has a higher fat content and lower percentage of air that gives it a richer texture and flavor than most commercially available ice cream. And the hot chocolate is made from the same gourmet cocoa powder used to make their chocolate ice cream. The Annapolis Ice Cream Company is unusual because it is independently owned and operated, while many other restaurants are owned by corporations or large restaurant groups. The Guieras are able to keep their shop's sense of fun going, and they are a perfect complement to the food of Annapolis, where a place setting is often just a layer of newspapers, some hammers, and a bowl of Old Bay. My final stop was the Farm Women's Co-op in Bethesda, which is a year-round farmers market for Marylanders who grow or make their own products. I talked to Ray Wren, who is now selling herbs, apples, and chili peppers from his farm.
I was born into it. My parents were actually started here in this market in 1942. I was born in 56. This has basically been here since then. We do mostly in season. We'll do everything early season, like lettuces and radishes and all that kind of stuff, into the season of growing of tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, squash, pretty much a whole line of stuff for sale. We grow, you know, to what is in demand. We don't particularly, I mean, I've noticed over the years where stuff that we used to grow when I was, you know, growing up on the farm has changed dramatically. And these days, you used to grow stuff like okra, you know, southern style cooking. Of course, everything was fried back then, and you know, where we don't get that near that much anymore. People are looking for more of stuff that can hold up to steaming and baking and stuff like that. That's just changing, you know, the way things are. You get people that are more health conscious, and obviously this, you know, frying with lard and grease and stuff just don't work. So, you know, like I said, it's what I was born into, it's what I know.
Next I talked to Carol Carrier, who despite the lack of food in her stall, grows vegetables during the summer to sell in the farmers market. She and her husband also grow flowers year-round.
My husband and I have 2 acres out in Laytonsville, and we grow a variety of things, but mostly foods that we like. So I do a variety of salad greens in the spring, mesclun mixes, lettuce, spinaches, and then later on in the summer we'll grow tomatoes, a lot of heirloom varieties, peppers, Swiss chard, which is an unusual green because you don't normally see it in the supermarket, but one that we like a lot. And then a few unusual things that you can't always find, things like okra, because my husband's family's from South Carolina. We eat a lot of that down there, so we brought our roots with us. Mostly I get to be outside. I don't have a commute to work. I'm never stuck in traffic, which is a big plus in this area. And the nice thing is in the summer I'll hire some high school, college kids to help me with the farming, and I've enjoyed getting to know them too. Well, when you go to farmers markets, one of the big issues is it's local food, and because it's local, then the farm markets in Maryland are not going to be like the farm markets in Texas or California or Minnesota or any place else in the country. They're going to have food that grows well in this area with the soils and the climate that we have, and it's probably the most nutritious food you'll ever get because it's right off the farm. Maryland has a hot summer and it's humid, so we tend to do well with things like peppers and tomatoes and corn and melons. You can have some pest problems, but not overly. I've successfully grown many different things. I especially like the asparagus that we grow in the spring, all the way through onions that we harvest later in the fall. Part of the reason why I grow my own food is because I like what I call real food, food that hasn't been processed. So I guess that says something that I care about what goes into myself. And even though I love things like desserts, I just happen to like food that's fresh. I think it's growing. I think people are starting to understand that a bag of chips isn't a suitable dinner, and they are learning to cook and learning to use some of the things that are available to them. And there's lots of farmers markets in Maryland, and especially in the Washington area. There's set up all the time. Montgomery County has been very supportive of farmers markets, so there shouldn't be an excuse for finding fresh produce.
Not only does Miss Carrier pronounce Washington the same way I do, she is also a great spokeswoman for the resurgence of healthful, locally grown produce in Maryland that is widely available at farmers markets. From talking to the farmers, chefs, and shop owners of Maryland and eating their food, there are some very strong cultural elements that emerge. Marylanders appreciate the great natural resource that they have in the Chesapeake Bay, and they take pride in preparing fresh seafood simply and when it's at its best. Many of the people I talked to mentioned the history and tradition behind their food. Crab soup recipes have remained mostly unchanged for years, and some farmers still plow their family's land. Healthful and natural foods are important to Marylanders, who can buy a wide range of produce grown on Maryland farms. Finally, there is a sense of fun and an enjoyment that all the food producers that I talk to get from working with their foods. They don't take themselves too seriously, and they let the food speak for itself in the land of pleasant living.